Good morning and welcome to Youth Connect on 91.1 The Bridge. I'm Steph Seidel and we are live on location at the Justin Slade Youth Foundation. I'm here with Esther, Dhruv, Devshri, and Devani. Guys, thanks so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.
You are very welcome. Now, we're going to chat about youth doing good things in the community, and I hear that you guys are doing some pretty good stuff around Wood Buffalo and Fort McMurray. Now, all of you are members of MACOY, correct?
Yes.
Who wants to tell me what it means?
MACOY stands for the Mayor's Advisory Council on Youth, and we have council meetings once every month, and we just discuss ways we can impact the community in positive ways.
I love it. All right, so we're going to chat a little bit more about MACOY in a few minutes, but let's talk about you guys a little bit. So how about we start with Dhruv? What grade are you in?
I'm in grade 12.
And what do you do for fun?
For fun, I play badminton at a competitive level, and I volunteer around the community and do different things in engineering aspects of computer science and stuff, and just like the program as a hobby.
Oh, wow. So do you get up to, do you play badminton in the Don Scott Badminton Center, or is there somewhere else in the city
Yeah,
that
I play
they
at
have
Don Scott
badminton?
Badminton
Okay, cool. How about you?
I also play badminton, but not at a competitive level, just leisurely. And I love coding, so I spend most of my time just on small projects, tinkering with small electronics and stuff like that.
Cool. And have you made anything that can be used, or do you make websites, or what do you mean coding?
So for coding, I have made a bunch of apps that can be used for just to help different students out. I've also worked on projects for I'm using AI for farmers that can help them, and just mostly big scale projects that can help different industries.
Wow, that's awesome. That's the smart man right there. Okay. Esther, what do you get up to on the daily?
I volunteer regularly at the hospital, and I also am a part of my school cheerleading team, which is something that I dedicate my time to.
And what school are you at?
Holy Trinity Catholic High School.
Trinity. Cool. And is it kind of like the movies, like in the States with the cheerleading, or do you have skirts?
Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. We're looking forward to our competition in February for provincials and regionals.
That's awesome. And is that in Fort McMurray, or?
It's going to be taking place in Athabasca and Edmonton.
Great. And Devshri?
I'm in grade 11 and I go to Westwood. I work at Daville Pharmacy. I also play sports like Dhruv and Devani.
Do you play badminton?
I do play badminton, just not as a competitive level, just for physical activity and kind of a relaxation. I also volunteer around the community, and I love photography, and I like to kind of open my creativity in ways we can perceive the world as.
Awesome. That's great. Well, welcome. And I love people that are doing cool stuff and having fun doing it. So let's talk a little bit more about MACOY. So Esther was telling us what it means. Why did you want to get on the MACOY Council? Sure.
So I wanted to get on MACOY because I wanted to make a better positive impact on the community, and I saw it as a way for me to actually voice my opinion to a larger scale, and actually get around with the youth within the region and be part of meetings and actually create a positive impact.
Yeah. For me, as youth, I find that being trusted by adults can be a problem, but through MACOY, we have a platform through a municipality. Our voices are actually heard at these council meetings, and we get to meet youth from all the different schools, getting different opinions on the issues that we have at our own school, and so we can work together for a solution.
For me, MACOY was an opportunity to really open my horizon and to find volunteer opportunities, but as well to connect with other ideas and collaborate and work on something that can leave behind a legacy, and to really empower Fort McMurray to become such a successful group of leaders, I think.
All right.
MACOY is just a way I can connect with my community on a larger scale, and I also have a lot of volunteer opportunities that I can commit my time to every month and week.
And where did you guys hear about MACOY? Is this a normal thing in the schools, or?
So I heard about MACOY from some of my friends that were on it in previous years, and I think they probably heard it from some of the school handouts we get, and just posters and the websites that we go on.
I heard about MACOY through a friend that was on it the previous year.
Okay.
Yeah, same as well.
Yeah, same as Drew.
And is it a rigorous process to get on it, or how did you guys get on this advisory council?
So there is a selection process. So there's an application that everyone fills out, and it depends. Like I would say the difficulty depends on the number of applications. Like a few years ago, we didn't have that many youth, so it was not that hard to get in. But now we had more applications, and so it is more difficult because we want a good representation of all the schools, and so we can't take all the students from one school, and so it is more difficult now.
Wow. All right. Now, what do you guys get up? What do you talk about in your meetings once a month?
So we have different action projects. So we just started working on different ways we can create positive change. So in some of the beginning first meetings, we talked about the different issues in the community, and now we just break up into groups and try and work on how to solve some of these problems, as well as different volunteer opportunities, and just basically how to make positive change.
So what would you say were some of the issues that were brought forward?
So I'll give you some examples of the projects we've worked on. So one of them is, every year it's like the busing problem for us as students, because we personally face it every year.
Yeah.
And so we always address that first, and we talk with different members of the bus, like transit department, and try and coordinate a proper plan. And we've also worked on the homeless department, and also the soup kitchen to volunteer there, and to work on mostly volunteer opportunities. And this year we're taking on bigger projects, like so we divide ourselves into different groups, and right now we have one group for giving youth more opportunities, one group for helping the homeless and people who need it the most, and so those are our main groups right now.
Wow. So in your groups, you're brainstorming. Are any of you in the group about helping homeless? Okay. Which groups are you specifically in?
I'm on a group that's helping youth discover their talents, and
wow.
So that's what me and Devani are on.
Okay. And what are some of the solutions you're coming up with?
Yeah. So right now we're working on, so what we found right now is that, so last year, because we started this last year, and was that youth needed help in terms of science and support, because Farmington is a smaller community. We don't have conferences, companies that come by, and so we started creating these conferences where these students can come visit and learn about, let's say, computer science, for example. Like our last year main focus was computer science, and this year right now we're still brainstorming. We're working on helping the arts community too, because now we're finding that the arts are being shunned. They're not shunned, but there's more support for science because it's more there's more support on a global scale, and so we're trying to support the arts this year.
Wow, that's awesome. And how about you guys? Which are you brainstorming about?
So my group is working on MACOY's 25th anniversary.
Oh, wow.
And so we're trying to plan out all what we need and who to invite, and all the alumni that we're trying to invite to see, and hold an event to really throw back the memories and really engage everyone into this atmosphere and reward everyone for all their hard work.
And have you thought about, is it going to be like a gala or a dinner or an afternoon tea, or?
I would say that's a surprise.
Oh, okay. All right, stay tuned.
Yes.
How about you, Esther?
Yes, I'm in the same group with Steph Seidel, so we're just working on MACOY's 25th anniversary, and we're just trying to find ways in which we can show others what MACOY has been doing for the past 25 years, and how MACOY has helped the
municipality
over the years and stuff, and yeah.
Awesome. All right, well, we're going to come back and we're going to chat some more with Dhruv, Esther, Devshri, and Devani in just a few. But first, here's a break. Good morning. Welcome back to Youth Connect on 91.1 The Bridge. I am Steph, and I'm here with Esther, Devshri, Dhruv, and Devani. Guys, thanks again for joining me. This has been a really interesting conversation. I'm learning a lot about what youth can do in this community. Now, Devshri, I wanted to speak with you specifically. We're going to talk about what you want to be when you grow up. Why don't you tell us that?
So I want to start off by becoming a doctor, but that's not really my end goal. I really want to work for the UN and to really collaborate with them, and to know where in the countries that really need help in the medical sector and department, where I can put all my efforts in and work and dedicate all of my hours and really save those lives that really need our help. And we're so privileged to be here, but we don't acknowledge that as much. And so this would be an opportunity where I can really let the voice out and let everyone know what's really going on.
Wow. All right. So do you have is this a 10-year plan, or is it a 20-year plan? What age do you hope to be when you start working for the UN?
I think around 35.
35?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. That's awesome. And was there a pivotal moment in your life that made you say, this is what I want to do? Or how did you kind of get this in your head? Doctor first, UN next, the world.
It was like more of experiences and going to different events. So I went to SUNYA over the summer, which is Seminar for United Nations and International Affairs. And there I got to learn so much about how like the UN works and how I can really dedicate my time. And the process to getting into the UN it's really opened my eyes, and like I knew that like I could be there someday. Like I had that hope, so I was like, this could be the stepping stone to that could take me there.
Wow. So SUNYA, is that a youth conference, or is this for everybody, or?
Yeah, it's a youth conference for those individuals who are interested in international affairs and model UN and really want to know how the UN works and how countries come together to delegate and come and find an international peace and security for the world.
I love it. All right. Very ambitious. That's awesome. Esther, what do you want to be when you grow up?
First, I want to graduate high school, which is my main goal. And then after that, I want to get my bachelor's in nursing. So my bachelor's of science in nursing, and then graduate medical school. And my end goal is to become an OBGYN because women's health is something that's really important to me. Last month, October, was just awareness for breast cancer. And I feel like helping women in the community and helping women on a medical scale is something that's really dear to my heart.
Wow. Okay. And how old do you hope to be when you are done all your education and working in a hospital?
I believe 29 or 30.
29 or 30? Cool. And do you plan on being an activist for this as well?
Yes, I do.
Starting a nonprofit or things like that?
Yeah, maybe in the future.
Joining the charge?
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. And how about Devani?
Plans for the future? Well, currently I'm planning on studying software engineering somewhere in at university, and then probably doing master's. And I want to start my own startup, some company that uses some sort of AI, some sort of technology to help address one of the world issues, and then to really focus on that, using AI to help us solve one of our a few of our problems that we have.
Wow. Do you have like a couple problems in mind that you want to share?
Well, right now I'm trying to keep the scope really open, and I'm just working on like the actual AI solution itself. But the ones I have worked on, and I feel like I'll work in the future, is humanitarian response, so like using technology, for example, drones during a disaster, or improving like communication networks during a disaster using the technology, because we have technology in developed countries, but developing countries where the disaster happens, we don't have those, so I'm trying to work on that.
Wow. And was there a moment that made you passionate about this? What was the flip switch?
I feel like it wasn't more with flipship, but more of like a development of, because since I'm like junior high, and I've started to like computer science, and I've been to camps, and I've enrolled in classes that have got me interested in the specific technology side, and then I've seen the impact of technology, and I've read about issues through just like model UN and stuff like that, and I see that we can bridge the connect between like technology and our issues.
Awesome. Esther, I didn't get to ask you what made you passionate. What was the first thing that said, yep, women's health, I'm in?
I just think from like a very young age, I've always been very interested in that like genre of like medical stuff. And I feel like just women's health in general is just something that's really important and something that I really want to discover more about.
Awesome. Drew?
I want to study mechatronics engineering somewhere in Canada, and then probably do masters just like Devani. And I want to work on the issue of fuel efficiency in cars. And yeah, that's what mechatronics engineering would probably lead me to, possibly starting my own company or working for companies like Tesla in developing cars and different energy sources for the world.
Wow, that's an interesting thing to say when you live in Fort McMurray.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And what made you passionate about that? Living in Fort McMurray, or?
No, what made me passionate about it would probably be, like Devani said, like as we've grown, like as I grew up, I've been privileged to have a car, and from what I learned, a lot of my families in India didn't have a car, and my dad didn't have a car for a while. Mm-hmm. And I was just thinking about how much pollution I've caused myself, and how much pollution he didn't cause. And looking at Tesla and what they're doing with their cars, it really opened my eyes into that sector, as well as mechatronics is a really cool field, and I feel like it is the future. So I want to kind of stick my hands in there and work on that.
Wow, and right now you both are doing something pretty practical towards that goal. Can you tell me a little bit about youth computing?
Sure, yeah. So I'll get started and you can continue. But so youth computing was, so this started last year, and so we're basically a group of, so me and Drew started this in the beginning of September last year, and so what we found was that since when we grew up to junior high, we had a bit of support for learning computing and stuff, but now we find that like because coding is not just like for high school students or for adults or just for those like geeks, but it's also like kids can also learn it because it's more logic and problem solving. So we want to provide these resources for these students, facilitate like an environment where they're able to learn computer science, learn science, STEM in general. And so we started, so me, him, and a bunch of our friends, we got together, and it's basically a non-profit organization, but we're not registered because we didn't find the need to register.
Okay.
But basically what we do is we hold like conferences, we go to different schools to present, and we just talk about computer science as a whole. We help kids out learn new programming languages and stuff like that.
Wow.
So we've held a couple events in the past. Well, we had one big event, which was an event called STEM Power 2016. And in that event, we just had a few workshops on which we worked with kids in elementary school. And they came over to our school, Westwood, and we provided them resources to just tinker around with different computer science aspects. And then this year, we're holding an exhibition. It's called Fuse 2017. And there, it's more like an open house, not exactly a workshop, but that's where we're gonna kind of get kids back involved into computer science and see they can explore all these different areas of computer science, things like virtual reality. We have 3D printers from our school there, robotics, artificial intelligence, 3D game making, drawing boards, and a lot more.
And can anyone come to this, or how does somebody get to come?
Anyone can come. It's a free event, and it's just at our school on November 25th.
And that's a Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What time?
From 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Perfect. I love it. You know what? You guys are awesome doing practical things in the community, which is so great. We're going to come back in just a few on 91.1 The Bridge. This is Connect to Youth. .1 The Bridge. This is Youth Connect. I'm Steph Seidel. I'm here with Esther, Drew, Devshri, and Devani. Guys, you are awesome. I'm loving hearing your stories about what you're passionate about, what you want to do later, and what you're doing right now. Now, Devshri, you were telling me that you were in Nicaragua. Why'd you go there?
So I went to Nicaragua to really make a change and to give a hand. So I don't know if you've heard this phrase, it's better to give a hand out instead of a hand up kind of thing. So it's like we're at the same level, but we're not really like giving you, we're helping you, and that's what it means. So I went there to help build schools for the kids at Nicaragua, and it was just a life changer experience. I got to learn so much. But with that, it was like an eye-opener to really understand how privileged we are with the things that we have. Education, transportation, everything that we have, we were so privileged. And with the hard work and all the sweat and like all the gravel lifting buckets and all like the shoveling, we really figured out that like education and all these things that we have is really important and a key to success, I guess. And how you become as a character, it really depends on where it comes from.
Awesome. So why do you care? What made you go there?
I really wanted to just like put in and dedicate my time. I wanted to make a change, whether people knew about it or not. It was more of a satisfaction, I guess, that I had, wow, that I'm actually just helping other people. And that's what made me so happy about going to my trip. And I spent that over my birthday, which was just like a given gift. Like, wow, on my birthday, I could just spend it with the kids who were there with me. It's just a good experience.
Wow, that's awesome. And you guys are working on doing good stuff in the community. Why do you care about that?
Okay, I'll start. So I feel like with Fort McMurray, like there's some like outside of Fort McMurray, people have a few like the wrong images of Fort McMurray in terms of like oil sands and stuff, and also people think that another issue is that because we're a small community, the image maybe that we have less resources. But what I find is that because we're a small community, we actually have more resources, we have more opportunities to learn, and Fort McMurray has given a lot to us. I feel like in terms of our school district too, and we want to give back everything we can to the community. And then once we leave here, because for post-secondary, there is no university here, so once we leave here, we can take this impact and spread it to other places of the world.
Mm-hmm. Esther, you said you volunteer a lot at the hospital. Why do you care to do that?
I just feel like it's a way I can help my community, and also volunteering at the hospital, I'm taking care of little children and kids and like infants and stuff, and I feel like it's a way for me to connect with them and to build a positive relationship with them. And then also a few months ago, I also signed up and registered for the Prime Minister's Education Youth Council, which is all of Alberta, and I became the second runner-up.
Wow.
And my main reason for wanting to be a part of this council was to make sure that education is something that we should all have access to, no matter if you're rich or poor, have money or not. I feel like education is something that everyone in Alberta and Canada should have access to.
For sure. Drew, what do you care?
I care for, I want to give back to the community. Like, I've lived here for probably the majority of my life, and I've gotten a lot, so I want to give that back to the community, and yeah, just continue to, as I said, make a positive impact.
And are you guys looking for any help with your youth computing? If somebody is like, I know how to code, I know how to teach that, can they join you?
Yeah, so our event is more of an open house, so anyone can come and see it too. But if you do want to volunteer, let's say if you have some sort of technology that you have like made or create like an app or something, you can just like contact us, and then we can have a booth set up for you to showcase. Because the whole idea is just to promote STEM and technology in general. So the more people it is, the better.
And what does STEM stand for?
The science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Wow. All right. So you've got an event November 25th at Westwood High School in the gym, or?
So it's going to be in the streets, like it's in the main atrium, and so there's a side door, and there'll be signs posted for how to get in and stuff.
Excellent. And what time does it start again?
So it starts at 10 o'clock, and the open house will finish at 1 o'clock.
And anybody can come.
Yeah, anybody can come.
Great. There's also another youth event happening next Friday night, and that will be at the King Street Theater, which is in Composite High School, and everyone's welcome to that as well. It's a talent show. Three Things WB is going to be there. Youth Voices WB is also making quite a splash. That's going to be a ton of fun. That'll be at the King Street Theater at Composite High School from 6:30 to 9:30. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to add? No? Well, thank you so much again for joining me. You guys are awesome. This is 91.1 The Bridge. We're live on location today at the Justin Slade Youth Foundation. Have a wonderful Monday.
Thank you.
Thank you.